Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt on KLUP 930, KSLR 630 AM, and also on Sundays on 9:30 AM at 4:30 in the afternoon. Also in Houston this morning on KNTH 1070 and 103.3 FM. Welcome to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt, and today we're going to be talking about the estate planning deficiencies checklist. But first, let's check in with Joseph Warren for the Financial Focus. He's a financial planner for successful people and he and his father, Steve, and brother Jacob own and operate Financial Planning HQ. Joseph, tell us what's in store for today's Financial Focus.
Yeah, today's Financial Focus. Well, first of all, very happy to be here. Always excited to be here on the radio show. And today's Financial Focus is inspired by a speech that we gave together. We were speaking at your church. You were talking about estate planning. I was talking about the financial planning side of it. And afterwards, a gentleman came up to me, and he told me, I found that the true value of having a plan is when things go wrong. So it's kind of ironic, but you can really see the true value of having a financial strategy when things don't go according to plan. You know, maybe when there's a market crash, you lose some income or lose a job, or there's a health event, or, you know, there's a cash flow crunch in your business. Mm-hmm. That's when you can really see, have we laid the right foundation for our finances?
Right. We all know that life on earth isn't going to be easy. Yeah. Jesus said, in this world you will have tribulation. Mm-hmm. That's John 16:33.
Yes. And
so for financial planning, how does having a plan help when things go wrong?
I think it really comes down to clarity. That's the one word I would want people to think about is the first thing we do to make sure that people are prepared for if things go wrong is we have a meeting that's all about financial safety. It's called the Comprehensive Safety Review. And during that meeting, we talk about everything that's worrying the client and any risks that they see that could hinder them from achieving their goals. But we don't just talk about it, right? I used to kind of frame it and think about it like this is a negative meeting. We're talking about market crashes, things that could go wrong. Mm-hmm. But after that meeting, we get together with our team of experts and we coordinate and come up with a strategy for what to do if that happens. And we even go beyond the things that they think about to see, are there any, you talk about, you know, hidden legal blind spots, are there any financial blind spots that they didn't even think to worry about? And we come up with strategies for those as well. And that works because when things are stressful, I don't know if you've ever had a tough time financially. I used to write a blog post, and I wrote a blog post about mine when I was living in Los Angeles, and I didn't have a lot of money, and I was scared to look at my account. I was scared because my amygdala, according to neuroscience, the fight or flight part of my brain, was putting me in this panic mode, and my emotions were basically clouding my judgment.
I love when you talk science. You're a former scientist, and so now you're a financial planner, and I think it helps with your analysis, doesn't it?
It does, using the scientific method and using experiments to see what actually will lead to a better outcome for these clients, what improves their chances of achieving their goals. So, but the amygdala will override the prefrontal cortex, which is the logical part of your brain. Mm-hmm. So we have that meeting when everything's going well, when everything's rosy, because we're using our logical brains and we're deciding this is objectively what to do if there is a market crash. And it's not like, you know, invest some money. It's not vague advice. It's invest X dollars from your cash reserves in X account if there's a market crash of this percentage. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And then it's just like we can become very logical even when things are going wrong and make sure that even if, you know, the worst happens, you're still going to achieve your goals. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah. So you're still answering the question how a plan can help when things go wrong.
Yes.
And what's another reason?
Another thing that we do, so it's not just about thinking of things that can go wrong, but it's also about preparing. So it's kind of funny. I remember when we started planning, The software will assume you're going to get, if you're very conservative, maybe 4% per year, depending on the asset mix, maybe 7%. If you're aggressive, maybe 11 to 12%. And it shows it as like a straight line up.
Mm-hmm.
But we all know that that's not how the market works.
Right.
It's unpredictable. Even this year, the market is doing pretty well, but it's been volatile. We've had war, right? We've had oil shocks, surprise inflation, right? Uncertainty is built into the market, but we plan for preparing for these things. So part of it is you'll know exactly how much cash reserves to have. We'll make sure that cash reserves is set up in the right account. And we're very specific to the dollar. This is the dollar amount that you need to have in cash reserves. And here's why. Maybe your insurance deductibles, it may be different risks that we see and different things that you would want to make sure that you're protected from.
Right. And so if somebody's listening right now and they want a team to hold them accountable, what should they do?
Definitely give me a call. The number is 210-444-2128. That's 210-444-2128. Our process, the first step is to really sit down and talk about what's important to you. We call those your values around money. So it's not going to be a boring meeting about the markets. We're not going to be talking about, China's doing this and, our analysis on your time horizon. I was listening to some financial advisors talk, and I was like, I don't think this is meant for clients to listen to, because they were talking about such complicated things.
Right.
And our idea is not to say we understand the complications of finances. We work in it every day, but we want to make it extremely clear for you. This is what's important to you. These are what your specific goals are. This is where you are now. And this is exactly what you need to do to get to where you want to go.
And so what happens to a client's goals when something goes wrong?
Yes. So you may think it's not just about surviving. It's not just about weathering a market crash or losing your job. We want our clients, in spite of whatever happens, to achieve their goals. So we pair that comprehensive safety review with something called a goal progress outlook meeting, where we have a whole meeting where we look at each goal that you have, if you're on track or off track to achieve it. And if you're not on track, we come up with a specific strategy, again, specific actions to take to make sure that you get back on track for your goals.
What if someone's thinking this is negative thinking? Why do I need to plan for things to go wrong?
Yep. I know it's kind of you live this, right? You work in estate planning, and that's something that people don't want to think about sometimes.
Right.
I know we always tell our clients to get their estate planning done if they don't get it done.
Well, that's the most wrong things could go, right? If I die.
If you die is that's the worst case scenario, right? And become disabled.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a healthcare event like long-term care, things like that.
Right.
I remember when I met with you, just to give a testimony about your business, I didn't want to think about it. I was like, I'm going to live. I'm still on the cusp of when you're a kid and you think you're going to live forever. Mm-hmm. Now, as I'm having kids, I'm understanding a little bit more, becoming wiser. But I didn't want to think about it. I thought I was too young to do it. But I remember when we sat down, we came up with our estate planning documents, healthcare directives, and all that. Mm-hmm. Afterwards, I felt such a peace of mind. And I felt wise. I was like, I made a wise decision that if something happens to me, my family will be taken care of. And if something happens to my wife, we'll be okay. Right. And it was really such a great feeling that almost counteracted the wanting to avoid the issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Because now you don't have to think about it.
Yep. So once you do the work of having a plan for if things go wrong, then you don't have to think about it. If it happens, it's not taking up space in your brain.
Right.
Where you're thinking, what if the market crashes? And the market does run in waves. It has cycles. You went to the Berkshire Hathaway. He talks about cycles of fear, 2008, and greed, like the dot-com boom.
That's right.
You have those cycles where it goes up and down. And those are emotions, again, that really throw people off financially. We all know that, but it's hard to see it in yourself, easy to see in others.
And so what's a good proverb for this week?
It's kind of weird. I was talking about Proverbs 11:14. There's a victory in a multitude of counselors. But I just thought about what Jesus said about the plank in your eye. It's really, you have a plank in your eye, your brother has a speck, and it's so easy to see the speck in your eye.
That's right.
So with us being objective, we can really see you're operating, in a little bit of fear here. This is what we said we were going to do when we had a calm mind, and make sure that the plan gets done, and have that objective perspective to make sure people achieve their financial goals no matter what.
And if they want an objective outside opinion, what should they do?
Call me at 210-444-2128. No obligation meeting. It'll be valuable for you whether we work together or not. That's 210-444-2128.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Most families don't realize they have hidden legal blind spots until it's too late. Wills, trusts, Medicaid planning, even protecting a business. These are the kinds of issues attorney Todd Marquardt helps uncover before they become problems. Todd is the host of Talk Law Radio, where each week he guides listeners through the legal challenges families, veterans, and business owners face, while showing them the practical steps to protect what matters most. Catch Talk Law Radio, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 9:30 a.m. The Answer, 6:30 a.m. The Word, and now in Houston on AM 1070 and 103.3 FM The Answer, or anytime on YouTube. Planning isn't just about documents. It's about peace of mind, security for loved ones, and building a legacy that lasts. Don't wait for a crisis. Do it before you die.